everyone, and welcome to another webisode of my story. So, where was I? I was talking about how my husband was going on my second tour, but his third tour, and visitation was beginning. But really quick, I want to rewind because I feel like I left some things out. So, I do want to talk about when my husband was home. I had a commenter who talked about, they said my husband was probably upset about, being yelled at and taking orders in the army. Very much so, probably. I mean, I'm not going to speak for him. He's going to, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. But I remember whenever we were living in that house, there was a time where he went out in the field and he came back and his face was pretty much scraped up really bad. And there was just that one sergeant dude whose was best friends with the army wife. He really hated my husband so bad. And he would yell at him every single day. My husband would get up every single morning and shave. He would shave everything. Every single morning he would get up and shave, and he would get yelled at every single day for not shaving. So whenever they went to the field, he was yelled at for not shaving, and he literally said that he had to stand in the middle of a puddle and shave for all day long while he was out in the field. He just had to keep shaving in the middle of a puddle. That's all that he was allowed to do for a while. So yeah, there's a lot of harsh things that have happened, and he has his traumas and I have my traumas. We're very much trauma bonded. I could tell that, I think, from the beginning, although that's more me looking back. Seeing it now, I don't think I could tell it at all. Whenever I was living it and in it, it was very, I thought that I was in love. I thought that we understood each other and we could cooperate with each other. And so that's why I loved him. But he would get up every single morning and shave. And one morning, I just heard the shaving and I was like kind of waking up because I would just naturally wake up around 9 and tend to the children. And I heard the shaving and I was ready to wake up and I was thinking, what does he do? Because he gets up early to get ready and go to work. He would be out the door at like 4 a.m. So I was like, what in the world is going on? And I go into the bathroom and my middle daughter was shaving her head like she had seen her stepdad do. And this girl who had long, beautiful hair had shaved a bald pattern. All this bald. This still long, like all this bald. Like, and this still, but bald. All this, all of it. My oldest daughter, whenever I was younger, I remember getting my mom's scissors and she was vacuuming and she would turn over the furniture when she vacuumed. I would get under it and it was so much fun. One time I found her scissors, and so while she was vacuuming, I got under the chair while she was vacuuming and cut my hair. And so whenever she flicked it up, she saw me and got upset. I remember that. I remember then my oldest daughter, we all cut our hair, right? We all cut our hair. My oldest daughter, she cut her hair, and we ended up having to give her like this cute little pixie cut, and it was really cute. And it was actually easier to handle with her wild childness. But my beauty daughter, who always let me do her hair, would let me do it in braids and all kinds of stuff. She shaved her head one morning. And, the kids had a different bathroom. There's the kids' bathroom and our bathroom. So she was already upstairs in our bathroom. And I guess, my husband didn't close, or I don't know, she probably could have got in anyway, even with the door closed. Definitely wasn't locked. But, yeah, so how do you fix that? How do you fix that, There's no fixing it, And, all these kids, they have the bangs, because they cut their own bangs. You don't fix it. You just let it grow out. So we had to shave her head. Her head was pretty much shaved, and she was, just a little cutie. But we would go places, and people would say, "What a cute little boy, what's his name?" I would say, "Her name is," and they would look at me like, "What is wrong with you? Trying to make this little boy a little girl." I'd put her in dresses as often as possible. I don't know. I wasn't trying to enforce gender roles either. I was very, very hardcore liberal back then too, so. But people would get upset with me. And, it wasn't the popular thing back then, I don't think. For sure. I don't know. People think it's popular now. I don't think it is either, but. Yeah, so I wanted to discuss that, and oh, yeah. So whenever we moved into our new home, we got a giant fish tank because my husband always had this dream of having a giant fish tank. He loves fish, and he wanted the big fish tank. So we got him the big fish tank, and we got all these colorful fish and stuff. And while we were in there, the girls wanted a pet. I think they wanted a pet ferret, and I couldn't afford the ferret at all. And so I talked them into pet rats, and I was trying to tell my husband that pet rats are really, really good. I had friends growing up who had pet rats, and they're really awesome. And so, yeah, my husband was like, "Okay, if it'll make y'all happy." And it did. It made all of us happy. We were all very happy. We got a rat, and the pet store said that we need two rats, not one, because the rats need one another. So we got a white rat and we got a black and white rat. And my oldest daughter was just so in love with these rats, and so I decided to let her name the rats, and she names the rats Hardy and Lover. Now, okay, the first one, everything was being named Hardy, and it's not Hardy, it's Hearty, Heart Y, Hardy. And at this stage, that's just what she was naming everything. She just loved, she was all about love and hearts and Hardy. And so, yeah, we had Hardy and we had Lover. Hardy was the black and white one, and Lover was the white one. And that's what we called them. I thought it was hilarious. I just did. We have two rats named Hardy, Lover, and we had a pit bull. And, oh, that's another thing that happened in that house was the girls where the pit bull, their bedroom was like the downstairs area, right? And so the pit bull, we'd put him out in the backyard, and they would call him, and then he would be like on the window trying to get into their room, and we'd be like, "Quit calling him into your room." And one day the pit bull literally busted through the window to get into the room with those girls. Not to be mean, because the pit bull loves them. The pit bull was like a nanny dog, very much a nanny dog. Pit bulls are the best nanny dog. Pit bull wanted to get with them girls because they kept calling. They would call and be like, "Come on, come on, come on." Yeah, and he did. He bursted through them doors, and yeah, he gets cut up a little bit, and that was unfortunate because you don't want pit bulls that are cut up. I mean, I wasn't mean to my pit bulls. I was nice to him. This pit bull, whenever we got him, he had parvo as a puppy. And I was like, "We have to put him down. I'm sorry." And my husband was just in tears and just was like not having it. He's like, "No, this is against everything that I stand for. As a medic, we fight for life." And he didn't care how much it costed. And we ended up with an almost $3,000 vet bill. But sure enough, this puppy recovered and overcome parvo and became a very good family member for years. So, yeah, that's really exciting. And yeah, so When visitation happened, my middle daughter was bald, and my I think that she shaved her head right before visitation happened too. I think that she wasn't bald at first. But anyway, we had, I wanted to go to the other state. I wanted to go and be near in case they needed me. I mean, these kids have never been away from me a day in their life. I was a poor single mother whenever I had my first daughter, and I was just staying in bedrooms, and sometimes I was just staying on a couch somewhere. And if I'm staying in a couch somewhere, my baby is with me, and if I'm staying in a bedroom, my baby is with me. I'm going to keep my baby with me. I'm not going to let anybody else take care of my baby. I'm going to take care of my baby. And so, and then whenever I did get a place, I'd have a roommate, and so their room was theirs and my room was mine. So my baby was with me, and she didn't grow up with her own room or anything like that. She grew up in a room with me. And then when her sister came along, it was pretty much the same thing, because yeah, I didn't want her to be in the bed with me. I tried to keep her in a bassinet because my bed was getting crowded, but it just got to where, oh well, and I just slept with babies on me all the time. And they were used to that. And if it I don't know. I feel like as a parent, it's scared to let your children go stay overnight somewhere whenever they're used to staying overnight with you, because for me as a child, that's some of my most awful memories is going to my mother's house, going to my father's house, and even sometimes coming back to my grandmother's house. It was the change of it all. I wanted and needed stability, and just I don't know. There are many nights that I would cry and cry and cry myself to sleep as a little girl because I was forced to have to visit everyone. And I just didn't want that for my kids. I really wanted stability for them. So I was worried about them going away for a full month and being in a whole nother state. And so I had to be with them. And whenever I'm with them, I can't leave my animals. I can't take my fish, but I did get a good trusted friend to watch the house and to feed my fish while I was gone. And I took my pit bull with me, and I took the two rats with me. So we were going across states, driving across the country in a van with three kiddos, a baby, and, two toddlers, and a pit bull, and two rats. So, and I had the girls call their dad to speak to him on the way there. And I tried to explain to them that, hey, you're going to go stay with your dad for a while, and it's okay, and then you're going to come back and stay with mommy, and it's going to be fun, and it's fine. And I'm trying to make this as normal and natural for them as possible. That is my goal in moving into the visitation. And so we arrive at the state, and he is there. The city that I grew up in is 2 hours away from the city that he lives in and that he's going to be staying in. I'm going to be staying in this city. So they're 2 hours apart, but at least it's the same state, right? But he's there. I'm at my family's house, and that's where we meet. And so he still had to take them to his house, but I mean, I drove all the way from Colorado. We could meet there, right? So he's there, and he's there with his girlfriend, and which made me happy because it makes me feel safer and secure that they get to go play house, and people playing house are really good and kind to kids, right? And these are his kids, so what could go wrong? I mean, the reason I'm like saying, right, what could go wrong? Well, at first I know what's gonna happen, but little, what's that, foreshadowing for you? But my mother and my best friend, Jerica, my hometown best friend just was so against it, and they just, I don't know, I guess they had a bad feeling. But I'm like, what? I mean, we did everything legit. We got the paperwork. At least I'm nearby, and I can get visitation inside the visitation. So, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. So I guess that's where we're going to pick up next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. And as always, be blessed with love. That's all she got.